Hello and welcome back to the GG.Bet Beijing Invitational. We've had a little bit of an extended break to get the energy levels back up because we're ready to get going here with mousesports taking on Heroic in our second semi-final.
Yeah, it should be a really good match as well. We've seen Heroic kind of play their way into the tournament. Obviously started in a pretty terrible fashion, losing 0-16 versus Gamer Legion, but eventually stepping up back into it and getting into the groove thing. Mousesports kind of secure their spot here in the semi-finals early on. And have since headed over to Budapest.
Yeah,
they're playing the V4 festival.
Well, they're sitting right there, aren't they? So it's pretty crazy. But it is going to be 2.95 for Heroic, 1.37 for Mousesports for the GG.Bet odds. And Mousesports are currently sitting outside of the B-bomb site, so the odds on them hitting this site very, very high.
Yeah, and just to pinpoint this for people, this is Heroic's map pick. Looking to get off to a hot start. Borb not able to get at the first connection, even though flashes were there. Stabbing though, luckily for him. He's able to do what he couldn't. More roughs. Taking his time, only good for one though, but I guess still destabilizes things a little bit, but look at that, quick swing around from Eztag, nets himself 2 kills, denial of a bomb plant as well, and Heroic get off to a flying start.
They do indeed, and that's exactly what they'll want coming into this. Overpass obviously going well for them in the past, and well, you know, they got beat 16-0 by Gamer Legion in their opening matchup. I think it's pretty safe to say they've forgotten about that. They beat Gamer Legion twice in a row in a best of 3 in a different tournament as well, 2-0. So they've got over their ghost, they're playing very well, and Mousesports might have a bit of a challenge on their hands.
It might be, especially because Overpass is not a map that you see Mousesports play, really. I think they busted it out. They've played it twice in the last 3 months, and one of them was, well, 2-3 weeks ago, and that was in the Mammal qualifiers. So, like, outside of that, they haven't really touched it at all. And I was actually, when I looked through the video, I was a little bit surprised to see that Mousesports were the team to remove Vertigo, because that was a map that they happily played often than not, and we've never seen Heroic do anything about that.
Exactly. We've talked about Mousesports perhaps setting the meta early on Vertigo, and then they just kind of shy away from it. It's kind of strange to see, but you did make a good point earlier that these that this Mousesports team are currently playing in Budapest together on the LAN, which could definitely help. I'm pretty sure Heroic played together though in an office.
Yeah, that could very well be, but Mousesports are definitely going to have that LAN vibe, being in LAN mode as well. Kerrigan. Nice connection onto Snappy. Still some way left to go. Still make it onto the bomb site, and that's where Blameth meets them. They also have the crossfire with Borup and Eztag at the very end there. So 2-0 for Heroic. They sustain about as little of losses as you could hope for. And going into the third map, there's not going to be any sort of visit from Mousesports to follow up on the previous one. So very likely to see, well, first off, no buy coming in before Heroic's before round 4, and at that stage, Heroic should be looking at a 3-0 lead.
They should indeed. We'll see if that is the case though. As Mousesports still have got CZ for Rops, a little bit of Kevlar in there. Alongside a couple of Eagles here and there. Mousesports, obviously, you can see in the top right, have gone for the pick of Dust too. Yeah, that nade done a lot of damage. Moxie dropped to 11. Carrigan is gone, so a good start from Snappy.
If there's one thing that Mousesports teams are particularly known for when it comes, well, not I shouldn't say Mousesports teams, just the Carrigan teams. Yeah. When we're talking about Overpass, is their B executes on the D side, and usually that is with Carrigan leading the charge, pretty much running in the front the entire time through short to create space and potentially get some opening kills. I wouldn't be too surprised if that's the kind of style that Mousesports have adapted as well. Heavy focus on the B-bomb site, Kerrigan storming through, and the rest of his team following up on that. It's usually pretty effective as well, and the most important thing is that you have everyone commit at the same time instead of second-guessing themselves as to where they want to go. I highly doubt that's going to be an issue for a team that's as well-drilled as Kerrigan teams usually are.
Well, we get to see it in action perhaps in this one. It's going to be heavy Krieg usage from 3 players. So it goes in towards Monster. We've seen that come through all day long here on Overpass. It really does feel, when you're watching maps, you understand when you watch the best teams or top teams in terms of pro players. The meta is always the same, right? Everyone does the same thing because it's the way to play the CS at that time.
Yeah. They're very like obviously there's always going to be one or a few things that are more efficient than others for whatever reason, because that was the counter to what was previously most efficient. And then teams obviously rinse repeat what is on average, regardless the best available strategy, until somebody comes out and figures out pretty much a hard counter to that. And that's really how it develops, and you see that over the course of every single map. And it kind of goes to cycle to the point where you might get into a situation where you see a similar meta to what you had in 2014 in with what the focus points on a certain map is for various sides, which is pretty cool. Right now, mousesports is having a cool day at the office. Mr. Cool over here in Playground, or Balloons, will eventually get taken down, but at least he kept people at bay, load, or put Snappy down to 16 HP, and also nabbed the kill for himself. So Heroic have no real chance of actually fighting for a retake here, or hopes of getting another round on the board.
Yeah, it was quite funny actually from watching the Budapest Festival, or the V4 Festival, that when Rops was playing against Connor, the Irish player, whose second name is McCool. So it was
Cool versus McCool.
Yeah, Tom was having a little bit of fun with that.
I can imagine. He'll never let a good pun slide, or
he is the master of puns, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it won't be two players surviving here for Heroic, but mousesports will win the first gun round, and of course that's a positive sign moving forward. They're the most important rounds, right? So mousesports, they win it pretty convincingly as well. So if they can keep that up, you know, we could be looking at a pretty good, strong T side already from mousesports. Even though they've only won one round, it's definitely a positive sign.
And that is absolutely true. And obviously for Heroic, they're coming into this matchup as underdogs. That's only fair, and they would love to be able to hold on to their own mapping at the very least. Dust 2 is the map choice of mousesports, which isn't necessarily a map that you could go to without any issues at any given time, and we've seen that far too often. So Heroic might actually be within a chance to snag that one out as well. Time will tell, though. mousesports, for now at the very least, have a very good standing relationship with Dust 2. Not too many hiccups in that sense, but there's always that overhanging danger, feels like.
Well, obviously, mousesports made it straight to the semi-finals of this event. So they've had a few days to play in other tournaments, where they've also made the semi-finals. So
I was about to say, I thought you were going to go like, yeah, they might have had the time to rest, but that's quite the opposite of what they've been doing. They've been playing a ton of officials lately. But they should be informed, at the very least, that they're not going to come into this feeling sluggish.
Well, they've made the semi-finals of a big LAN event, so they should be feeling pretty confident in their game, right? All the maps should be well prepared.
Yeah.
And if we are to believe every single player interview, if they just hit their shots and play their game, it's the recipe for success.
Still surprised more teams don't do that, because everybody seems to, like, if we're talking about, you know, metas and most efficient strategies, playing your own game apparently is the one thing that every CS Pro ever has decided on. And it doesn't seem to really come true for a lot of these players. Like, they don't seem to follow their own advice of playing their own game and hitting their shots.
Exactly. That's why I kind of like Jerry interviews, because
yeah, he actually gives
he
an
doesn't
actual
say
opinion.
play my game. Yeah, he just goes and actually says what's going on.
No, I definitely prefer that. It's much more insightful and gives you a bit of an idea of what goes on. But I could obviously understand the point of view from the players, and they don't necessarily want to elaborate too much,
or they just don't want to do it at all.
Yeah, they just want to go back to their seat and play more. So whatever generic answer to get you out of the situation.
Or you can always just do the classic. I don't understand what you're saying. I think it was it JW? Might have been some of the FaZe Clan players as well. Every time there's an interview, they just kind of give yes, no answers, and then just kind of walk away at the end.
Brilliant. That might be the case, yeah. I was about to say, like, you can't really start doing the whole, like, oh, I didn't get what you were saying, or I didn't understand what you were saying, if you've already been doing English interviews for 4 years.
Exactly.
Might be a little bit late to reveal that strat, but yeah, no, it's Definitely not every player who's comfortable enough doing those kinds of interviews, but nonetheless, we're into a new round.
Yeah, obviously Heroic having to save a couple of weapons over mousesports to get 2 in a row. And, well, while you're seeing a little bit of a slower play, you can head over to GG.Bet.com, use the code SAVE to ensure your bet. There's no queues, there's no waiting times, and there's no rejections. Make sure you head over to GG.Bet.com.
There you have it. Let's see who ensures the next round. Snappy with that position we saw fours used as well. I haven't really seen too much of a recurrence of the Tai Lu boost from the minor. Or major, I suppose, but yeah, early stages of the major.
Yeah, we see a lot of boosts come in on Overpass, and one of them we actually seen come through in this invitational was on the fountain as well, to look over the flower best from Windstrike. That was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
I think Valve actually patched an unintended boost here on Overpass a couple of updates ago.
Sounds like a Valve thing.
Well, Voxic and Carrigan getting 2 kills, Rob's able to find another. And it will be the man advantage for mousesports with 30 seconds remaining. They've got to make a hit in towards the A bomb site. Smoke down, that should cover off a little bit of it. Yeah, it doesn't do anything really, does it? Rob still gets a kill though. And damage to the wall. SSI dropped to 15, yeah.
Smoke does nothing, Rops does everything, and well, doesn't even need to see his opponent, does he?
It's just unfair.
Yeah, easy as you like. Rops was having some really good games over at the tournament in Budapest. Well, good to see him maintaining that form also into the Invitational. And that's also a terrifying sign if you're Heroic, because these mousesports individuals are nothing to scoff at. Voxic, Rops, Frozen, Chris J, and even Carrigan. I mean, they all know how to frag out in a big way. You know, some tactical depth behind them as well. It's a lot of strengths to play off of for the German organization.
Well, there's going to be Chris J, the Dutchman, heading his way towards short, and well, his head is off his shoulders. He looked away, and Borup decapitated him. So, looking good for mousesports as they want to hit in towards the B bomb site. These are one of the B executes we were talking about a little bit earlier on. As Molotov goes in towards Pit, it's going to be Carrigan that drops Borup. So back into a 4v4 here. Snappy behind, causing problems, but it doesn't matter if Carrigan is still finding kills inside of the B bomb site. Voxic will drop Snappy, and another kill coming in as well. There it is, 4 in a row for mousesports. It seems as soon as they got that first gun round under their belt, there was real no way that we see mousesports falling. They were building up the momentum, building up the round wins. And if they continue to have this performance out of Rops, and you need that production out of Rops, then this could be a massive, massive scoreline developing for mousesports.
Yeah, which is a terrifying trend. Again, this is Heroic's map pick, and yes, they've played themselves into the tournament. They've definitely showcased that what we saw day 1 on Overpass versus Gamer Legion is not what to expect out of them. But they've showcased that they're prone to it, right? They can have complete fall-off games. And you don't want that to be the case here in your first map in the semifinals versus mousesports, because they're not, you know, going to show you any sort of mercy. They're not going to give you way back into this.
Yeah.
Voxic just moving his way up the fountain. And a slow approach here from the European squad. They're not really committed to anything at all. It's actually going to be Voxic that stays around over towards A. It might be just to get a couple of peeks towards the A bomb site, just feel some presence. It's very rare that you have an Opper being the sole lurker or the sole person tried to sell a fake, so that might lead Heroic to believe that there's more presence behind just Voxic here.
50 seconds. Eventually, there's going to be a contact play in towards B here from Carrigan. Again, leading the charge here with Robson behind him. Snout is going to throw the Molotov, but he's caught between the sandbags. And, well, he has picked up Carrigan. Staying alive on 5 HP. Frozen will burn him away. Voxic still holding the connector. Borup should hear those footsteps. Esatag got a brilliant performance yesterday, looking to step up. He's dropped Chris J and then turned the bomb.
Big thing now, though, is if mousesports can actually get the bomb back in their hands somehow, it's going to put pressure on Borup to start moving out, and at that point, there's a golden opportunity for Voxic to still keep them in this. So mousesports are not without chances here, but yeah, bomb plan needs to go down.
5 seconds. Where's the bomb plant? They have to go for it, and well,
They've
there's just
just
no
given up on it.
time.
Yeah. It didn't really feel like there was any sort of initiative towards actually getting it either, which is surprising to me.
They just gave up their own win. Well, fair enough. They still have money left in the bank.
Yeah, they can reinvest into it, obviously, but still feels a little bit odd because they had a fighting chance. It's not like it was all hope was lost and you could just go home at that stage.
And the fact that they can reinvest makes it even stranger, right? Because it's not like they lose a whole lot if they go and attempt something. So yeah, definitely weird. Pulse comes in though. We'll see if Heroic can find 2 together. They haven't really won anything since the beginning, so they'll be happy to get one under their belt. And well, it's 4-4. Even as you can get it. And that's exactly what we want in the semi-final. We want to close affair.
And do want to really see it drag out, don't you? Get all the rounds to see what these teams are capable of. So, tactical timeout underway, and we'll see what the teams come up with once we get back into the freeze time and once they start running out of spawn. Utility is a little bit lacking on 2 of the players on the Heroic side. Blamef and Esatag are not going to be too flush with options. On the side of mousesports, pretty much have everything they want.
Nade ready to go in towards short. That's Esatag's going nice aggressive.
Timing. It's like the alternative to putting down a Molotov. You do more direct damage with it, that's for sure.
Esatag's super aggressive still, though. We've seen Borup be in here, but this time it's Esatag who feels confident enough with his spawn to go in towards water and try and hold this angle. Should be good for a kill if mousesports player is to walk that way.
See if it comes to it or not. So far, though, not a whole lot of movement from either side. Esatag's been aggressive, but not necessarily doing anything further with it. They're actually going to swap it out. Stavin gets the op, and Esatag goes on a mission. Rops has been waiting there so patiently forever, but actually falls asleep behind the wheel. That's a lot of real estate and information gained for 1 kill.
Well, Blamef does drop Chris J. It's going to be a 2-man advantage for Heroic, followed up. And this is much better from the Danes. They are finding quite the success here. Voxic and Frozen, the last remaining players. And Heroic are looking for a clean round win without losing a single player.
That'd be so big. mousesports on there, and they know they have the money to be able to buy up even after this. But do you really want to sacrifice an op? Probably not. So Voxy's going to try to stay alive, but he has to know that surely Heroic are thinking about the chances of doing exactly that. Doesn't happen before time runs out, but nonetheless, it's a kill, and it's more money to spend for Voxic, and because of a really expensive affair for mousesports, they did not get either far or very close.
And a much better run from Heroic, right? They're finding all of the fights early and winning every engagement with no trade from mousesports, which is something they're usually pretty good at. So Heroic could be happy about heading into the lead, but how long can they stay there is yet to be seen, because again, mousesports coming right at them with a good buy. All plans Voxic, and that's a very scary prospect.
Definitely is. Now, as mentioned, mousesports hasn't necessarily played too much Overpass in the last couple of months. So the one map that they had versus Crazy, they got a fair few of the rounds, actually a majority of their rounds, on the T side. They ended up having a 10-5 half versus Crazy, and then closing it out 6-0 towards the end other half. But if they can amount to get that many rounds on their T side, that's pretty good sign. But right now it means Heroic are also doing a pretty good job of battling back, because right now that's best case scenario for mousesports.
Well, again, they're falling like flies. Not a single kill coming in from mousesports, and Heroic have found all success.
Not even significant damage. That's the more harrowing thing, really. There we go. Finally, someone to break the deadlock. It's going to be Voxic to find the first frag in quite some time for mousesports.
Voxic's sensitivity is something to be marveled at, but it does allow him to hit these incredible shots with the AWP very fast that a lot of players just physically cannot do due to their sensitivity not allowing it. So we'll see what he can do as he moves in towards the bomb site. Flash goes over the top. His teammate has to go back and get the bomb. They have left the bomb over in T-spawn. Luckily, no one's pushed up and found it, though. But there's no time. There's no time to go anywhere.
Yeah, and we've gotten into this scenario now 3 times. One time ran out. This is going to be the second. And obviously, Voxic dying just before it happens again. That usually has me pretty worried. I mean, sure, one thing is if you're Navi, that was always your way of doing things. But this is a bit of a worrying sign, yeah, because they're not necessarily slowing it down because they have such a good idea and such a methodical way of getting a map control. They're running out of time because they're getting shut down.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it comes back to the point they're not finding the trade. So they're just always facing a deficit, and it becomes increasingly difficult to do anything. So Paul's coming in, perhaps mousesports realize, well, money's starting to go away, and we had a good start, but after that, we haven't really done anything. So Carrigan is going to try and come up with a plan and allow this team to perhaps find success again. Obviously, Voxic has still got an AWP, frozen as an AK. Honestly, that's probably enough, right? You could probably just do something with pistols and the rest of the 3 players.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. You can still make something out of this, but
Well, they're going to go for the buy.
yeah, they're fully committing into this.
Good decision, I think, honestly, because it's not a bad buy. And obviously you have the skills to pop off at any point on this mousesports side. And they're getting a loss bonus building by the second.
That they do. We just need to see them having more, I guess, of a long-term idea as to what they want to get out of their T sides.
Well, that was an attempt from Voxic. I like it, but it doesn't work. Borup able to drop him towards short, and they have lost that AWP. Chris J, obviously, the secondary choice to get the AWP in his hands, but they've covered it off. Molotov and then Borup to stand guard over the AWP, and well, they can't really do anything about it. Well played. Heroic have just sent 2 players in towards short, and Robs has to deal with it. He's dealt with the first headshot well, so he drops Snappy, but there's another player there. Will he expect that double peek from Connector? Of course he will! It's Robs with 3! I don't know how he gets that, but it's just not fair. That's the target of 1v3. He'll look over towards the site in mousesports. This is what we're talking about. They have so much skill, they're just giving them a slight chance. One of these individuals can pop off.
It really is so true. On Essetag, I mean, yesterday we saw him being able to pop off. He's going to need to do it again. It doesn't seem like he has the same kind of belief in his ability as we do, though. He's ducking out. That was, yeah, not looking too great for mousesports for the longest of times. And then Robs...
yeah, Robs gets double peeked and kills them both. What does that happen ever?
That's also what makes it so tough to swallow, right? If you're heroic at this point, because you didn't necessarily do anything wrong.
Exactly, you made the right play.
Yeah, this is crazy from Robs. Kerrigan will die with the bomb, but I mean, considering where that round was originally headed, you take that every single day.
Definitely. 6-5. mousesports, they've got themselves around on the board again.
Somehow, some way, right?
Chris J back onto the Galil. No AWP this time from mousesports, but we'll see what they can do with the rifles. I think if you can get Rops into a position pretty much every time to do that, maybe don't even need anyone else. Molotov is going to go over the top of the hedges and land towards the ramp at T-spawn, but Blimef holding the angle inside of Connector is able to deal with Carrigan. It's quite interesting that the in-game leader battle here is Blimef versus Carrigan. 2 polar opposites, I would say, in terms of experience. Blimef, obviously a brand new in-game leader. Carrigan, probably one of the most experienced in-game leaders we have in CSGO.
Absolutely true.
And Blimef is a bit of a star in-game leader. Like, he's a player that will set himself up.
Absolutely. There's not a whole lot of similarities in their styles or approaches to the game in that sense, but obviously there's
they're both Danish.
Yeah, and there's multiple roads to success, right? You don't have to necessarily follow one set path, and I think maybe that's what Blimef has thought for himself. Because when you think back to most in-game leaders in Denmark, they kind of follow the same kind of cloth as Kerrigan.
Yeah, it's like Hunden has set them up. And will be 2 for Voxic running right in towards the A-bomb site. This is much, much better from mousesports. Still a 3v3 though. Bomb getting planted. Good chance for Heroic still stands. They've got Kit available on Stown, and while Borp is taking down Frozen.
It's so much damage within a short amount of time. Went from being a pretty even 3v3 to now having mousesports one life support with both players. Robs, though, has been able to do a lot with a little before.
Wow. It's just outrageous. It's like they should really be heavy underdogs in here, and well, they pull it back. It will be Borup taking 1 kill towards long. Rops just hiding away. It's Borup with the kill. Is there enough time for the defuse?
No, there isn't.
Nope, he has got no kit. He has to run.
Oh man.
That is so unlucky.
Even with a kit, he wouldn't have had the time there. I mean, good job from Borup to be able to clutch it out in terms of actually just getting everyone down on the side of mousesports, but yeah, that's a tough one to lose for sure.
Yeah, but that is true. Borup getting rid of them is a big problem because, look, they don't have the op again. And Chris J, I feel bad for the guy because he just keeps having to buy Galils.
Oh, man. Yeah, maybe would have been better off with a Tech-9 ZZ or a Deagle maybe at that stage instead of forcing back into it. But who knows? I don't mind the Galil all that much.
Or Scout, you know, he's
that is very true, actually. He's
a god with that gun.
It's very true. Might be a little bit hard to use if you're looking to do B executes, but maybe that's not what mousesports have in mind, though. But for the time being, they've gone all map control, and yeah, they're just going to ball in here.
Well, there they go, straight on through Monster. They're trying to find the opening kill, and well, Snappy might just be the victim of Carrigan. He'll pick him up. A couple of kills coming back and forth. It's Borup and Stown who take 2, and it's a 3v4 with the man advantage siding with Heroic. And in an unfavorable position with Borup spotting Rops.
Saved AK from the previous round. Oh, goes back for more.
Yeah,
they haven't really gotten confirmation as to where Stavin went. But considering there's a smoke still down that's just now dissipating, I would definitely make the most out of actually checking that angle.
Well, Woxa's coming in from behind, and Astatag knows that this is a possibility. He's just holding for it. Comes down to timing, or just comes down to sheer skill, because Woxic is ready for that. Headshot coming in. Frozen cannot get the kill, so it's all onto Woxic. Has to quad kill clutch this. With the bomb in his hands, he can run back up towards A, and that's definitely where he's going. He's sprinting up the stairs, through middle. You know, you can go the long way around, but obviously with the time, it's so low that he just has to make the close route. And they will hear his footsteps, so they know this is coming. And BlimmF has got a position for it. Woxic, he can go out to the left and peek on in. Woxic will not get the bomb plant, nor will he win the round.
Oh, well, mousesports with a quick B play. Not going to be too lucky with it. And that's a round where Heroic really just had, what, an MP9 saved AK, and, well, that was pretty much it. They do stack the right bomb site, and they do get the kills they need. Stavin staying alive for such a long time by barrels, and Borup finding 2 kills is the recipe for success, apparently. But that's kind of the ball being dropped by mousesports. Golden opportunity to get the lead and also build off of that.
Woxic definitely could have clutched that as well. It's just a little bit unfortunate in terms of the time, because obviously players who try to rotate off the B bomb side, if you're in a 1vx, you kind of want to take the long way around so they don't hear your footsteps.
Yeah.
But obviously with the lack of time, it was completely telegraphed that BlimmF could just get in position. And at this point, Heroic are finding so much success. Astatag dropping Frozen, it's all on Rops in a 1v4, and Borup's got him as well. So it's 8-6 here. Heroic 1 away from a 9-6 half. And it's certainly looking like that'll be the outcome here with mousesports not having anything here. It's going to be a couple of D-goals. Maybe Scout finally come through and Chris J, but he'll pick up a pistol.
Galil's no more.
I think Chris J, I don't know if he got to pick up an AK more than once in this entire half. Maybe he got it twice.
What a luxury.
Yeah, exactly. Poor Chris J. Literally poor Chris J.
Well then.
BlimmF has already got position in Playground, and there's one player in front of him. It's Frozen, and he'll take the kill towards BlimmF. Man advantage for mousesports.
But BlimmF wish he didn't have position in Playground already now.
Yeah, would have rather have sat back passively. Didn't really go too well for him, but Rops will take away Borup, and that's an AK.
Yeah, it's 2 in total now. And Snappy, well, wanted to see if he could punish it. Not able to, but Stavin at least gets the reply. It's a 3v3, but HP heavily in favor of the mousesports team, and considering they have armor as well.
Oh.
So yeah, this could go two pretty awkward ways, really. SSI could just forget that or not hear anyone, and Kerrigan actually goes all the way around. That's so dirty.
SSI just not ready for that whatsoever. Snappy trying to cover them off, but it is Woxic who will hit the deck. Frozen able to get the trade almost instantly. And it's a 2v1 here. It's down left into the clutch. He's a player that can do this. He has to do it if they want 9-6. And what a shot through the smoke that pulls it into a 1v1. Frozen, the youngster up against the other youngster of Heroic. As down walks through the smoke. It's Frozen who gets 7 from mousesports. And a decent half coming in overall.
Yeah, Stammen there in the very final end of it, going for a big move. Trying to walk through the smoke. Probably expecting Frozen to have picked up the bomb, maybe looking for a position to get it planted or anything like that. Just not necessarily holding his eyes 100% focused on the smoke.
Well, while we have a little pause for Chris J to return to the server, what can the viewers do at home?
They can head over to GG.Bet.com, and that's where you can run into pretty much, well, no business hours, no queues, and no waiting time, and no rejections, and you can ensure your bet safe and easy. And definitely worth checking that out.
Using the code SAVE, of course,
yes,
all capitals.
Exactly, SAVE, and there you see the live odds as well from GG.Bet.com.
Well, here it is. The pistol's back, and we're ready to get underway. It's Chris J returning to the server. Perhaps a little bit more money, and it is at 7. As mousesports start their approach in towards the A-bomb site. Kerrigan is going to be here on the back of the smoke, looking for SSI. He will find it, and just like that, 4 kills from mousesports, make it 5. They just come in instantly, with Heroic being stopped by the brick wall.
I just quite the brick wall as well. A nice looking one, and mousesports get off to a hot start here. Question is, can actually carry it through. Last time they played Overpass, T-side was really their calling card. Obviously, small sample size and all of that, but you do wonder if they actually, were a little bit reliant on getting that pistol to feel good about the situation. And Lost Round's not going to feel good about that.
Yeah, this is always the problem, though, right? We always talk about the T-side force buy after losing the pistol can be hella strong. Yeah. And with Snappy fighting that opening pick, mousesports aren't going to be too happy about it, but they've got a pretty nice setup on the B-bomb side with Woxic being the only player near A. And he is in the toilets, and there is quite a few players on the other end of that smoke.
And now it just needs to... If he's going to stay forward, he needs to get a multi-kill. Otherwise, he can at least juggle around with everything, and he's not going to get anything at all. That's a disaster. He's so isolated as well, so there's nothing really Kerrigan can do to help him out. Because Heroic have invested into armor as well. Makes the gun pickups that much more potent. Smoke's surrounding Kerrigan. He doesn't really know where to look at the stage. Keeps suspecting that there's going to be flashes coming in. He's just going to drive around the corner. He is, and denies the bomb plant as well. But meanwhile, Chris J has fallen to Stavin. So short-lived pleasures and happiness for Heroic here. Frozen does find a kill, but it's a 1v3. And you reckon that it's going to be pretty tough to actually get anything done here. Bomb's going to go down eventually. Now the fact that he doesn't have a kit either also becomes an issue.
Well, Frozen taking little bits of damage here or there, but yeah, gotta run away.
He was given opportunities.
He was, but they're not easy opportunities.
Oh, God,
they're the most frustrating opportunities.
Yeah, because you have to step behind the entire time, and then eventually get hunted down by Borup. That was not the round mousesports had pictured themselves, to put it mildly.
Not at all. So Heroic into the lead 9-8. So things are looking okay for them. The Danes obviously lose the pistol, but they answer right back. And of course, that's the potency of the Danish deals. As mousesports fall victim to them. It's not just the lesser teams or the teams you would say are weaker than Heroic. Even the likes of mousesports fall to the Deegs.
Absolutely.
They have the potential to do the same, though.
They do, but they don't have 5 Danish players. They only have one.
They only have one, yeah. We'll see if Carrigan's enough.
Well, apparently the answer is no. Both him and Chris J fall. Blameleth with a quick 2K. And now they can actually send in Snappy with a Mac 10 to just do some reconvening. A recon. They've at least spotted 2 or heard 2. So they kind of step the foot on the brake and sit back for a little while. Heroic on there, and obviously understandably so. Not moving too much. mousesports banking everything on sticking together here, and they can't really do much else. They have the scout on Voxic that could potentially soften up a couple of targets, but outside of that, you don't stand too much of a chance of making a dent onto this heroic squad.
Heroic making their way in towards the bomb site. Clearing the barrels, clearing the rest of the site, and no one is here from mousesports, so the bomb plant can come in safely enough. And Heroic should be reaching double figures. If you are just tuning in, the top right graphic is what I want to bring your attentions to. It is, of course, Overpass is the pick for Heroic, the map that they want to go towards, with mousesports deciding to pick Dust 2, and we know how good they are on it. So,
absolutely. It could mean that if we see Heroic here closing out the deal on Overpass, the likelihood of a third map is pretty damn high. And seeing a decider on Nuke, that's not really something you get to do every single day, so I'd be up for that.
Yeah, you never really see the decider on Nuke at all, right? It's like always Inferno, a little bit of Mirage here and there.
Oh, how
that
does
is
Tag
nice.
actually get to?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that should never happen. Well, there you go. Who's going to be happy with that? Nothing saved from mousesports in that one. Outside of Rops is like Kevlar. Well.
It's been a very slow start to the second half for both teams. Like, it's a very slow approach.
Yeah.
Taking the time, not wanting to make mistakes, a lot of saving going on. mousesports, you know, they're not really in a position to have a whole lot to work with here, so we're likely looking at 11-8 coming in for Heroic. And Snappy's going to get aggressive up towards Catwalk. You might just see plenty of players coming his way as he gets 1 kill. BlameF will get 3 in reply, so lining them up. It's all on to Rops with a CZ 75. And of course Kevlar in the lower parts of Connector. Doors wide open. He will drop BlameF, but Stown's there for the trade. And is 11-8 here. Heroic find 3 in a row. And now only stand 5 away from taking map number 1 away. We take a look at the scoreboard. Borup at the top of the scoreboard this time. And we always talk about fours having that team that always has someone at the top. I think that's going to start to be a thing for Heroic here, because they just have so much firepower that it's hard not to have a different person stepping up.
That's kind of true, yeah. Bit of a fun issue to have, I suppose.
Exactly. It's kind of like, it's definitely just like fours, really, because we see Borup at the top today. We've seen BlameF recently. We've seen Esatag even yesterday.
Snappy
as well.
Yeah, Stavin obviously had the massive bounce back game after his woeful performance on Overpass the first time around. Yeah, they're all capable and willing. So is Chris J. He had a rough first half, looking to turn things around. That might be the start of it.
Isn't that mousesports like saying? You know the way organizations have like little phrases or sayings? I think mousesports is ready, willing, and able or something like that.
I think ready, willing, and I think that was a tagline from a Frag movie they had way back when. I think I know their hashtag is like Mouse or something because they have Spanish players, but that's because of they have some Spanish players on League of Legends team or something.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if they have League of Legends team even. I'm just saying stuff. I've seen the like Vamos kind of thing or Vamos. The tagline used at the very
least. They've had a Spanish CSGO player, LOL, right? He was in the organization for a tiny bit when Nico was there.
That's all they needed.
Yeah, there we go. And LOL has made the hashtag for the team.
Yeah, we can now go.
That was the only reason he got a chance. Well, it is going to be an execute in towards A from Heroic. They're going to start wrapping the bomb site. The problem here is they haven't got the man advantage. They've got the man deficit. And Frozen, he's going to follow up on it from mousesports. Another kill coming in from Carrigan. Frozen doing a lot of work inside of the toilets. And Borup, well, he's at the top of the scoreboard for Heroic. He's got to kill 4 people here in 13 seconds. Did he spot the guy on his right? Hopefully he did.
There we go. Well, you should kind of, well, either die or duck out. Yeah, he decides to go the more grim route of it. Definitely not want to stay alive necessarily just for the sake of it. Well, I guess to be fair, he probably could have actually in that, or tried to in that scenario. Had money on hand, and will be a rebuy from Heroic. But nonetheless, mousesports did pick up a second round, and yeah, a lot of work being done inside of those restrooms. Heroic didn't get a bomb plant down in that round either, so Blame F is completely broke right now. $0, and Heroic need to go back to winning to stay afloat. Triple lane towards the boost, not going to do anything. We're not seeing that boost being used as much as before.
Oh, definitely not. We've seen that a lot.
Astralis kind of killed that off with all the utility usage they started.
I feel, yeah, he's kind of, as soon as something gets punished or there's a way of countering it, it either it evolves or it just fizzles out. It's like kind of, it's literally natural selection.
Yeah,
of
it is. It's a brutal way of painting the picture, but it's very much true.
Oh,
Woxic, he's going to hear a lot of these sounds. How patient is he going to be? Flash is actually perfect.
They don't know if they've crossed yet, though. That's the problem with the song as well. It goes away when you get a flash up, so some of those footsteps might have been muffled. They've gone back towards connector because Blame F's there.
Yeah. Still a chance to get an early rotation because of Rob's position here.
Always blinded. Good flash buying. They check it, and Rops is gone. He was gone either way, but probably with 1 or 2 kills maybe if that flash didn't come in. Chris J is going to be sitting in behind the smoke, 25 seconds. Eventually, they're going to start overwhelming his position. They check him, but he gets 1 kill. He's still alive. He might just get more here. Luckily, a kill does come in for Borup, but it's not enough just yet thanks to Carrigan. And Woxic's in position. Bomb denied as Woxic's able to pick it up, and a second coming in as well.
Super duper well done. Again, Rops was in, I guess, in a position to be an early early red light for Heroic. Doesn't get a kill though, but again, because they get that information, I guess, soon enough, there's a chance for mousesports to pounce off of it, and you see Heroic never really getting a chance to establish themselves on the B-bomb site. And as you mentioned, well, as with Heroic, the fact that there's so many individuals that you can rely on and lean on every now and again, very much same goes for mousesports. Oh, it's staying even here. And Heroic predominantly on pistols outside of the Krieg and Stavin's hands. Barring that doing something crazy, you'd imagine mousesports get to even numbers here. Woxic just jumping for information.
Does become quite repetitive. When you're jumping over and over again, though, should the sound cue, if you're jumping directly up and down, obviously the jumping sound actually goes away. But it does seem to be going away as he jumps up and down on the truck. Eventually, a shot comes in. That's the information he was jumping for. And so he can come off the angle. Stam will get rid of him. Woxic gone. It's going to be the man advantage for the low buy of Heroic as they start to come in towards the A-bomb site. Carrigan is here for the M4A1S. He will take away as the tag, and a kill comes in from Borup. They need to be careful here. Heroic have got a bomb plan, and they really shouldn't have. As Frozen will pick up 2 kills, he'll move in towards the site. 2 kills and a bomb plant already good. And another follow-up. Heroic, there's just no way they should win this. As Stam gets another kill. It's Rops in a 1v2. He has to come in huge for mousesports because they cannot afford to lose this round. Bomb will go on, smoke will go on towards the bomb, Molotov towards the stairs, but Blim F finally hits the deck. It's all on down, looking for the quad kill, but Rops comes in for the clutch from mousesports. But that is just sheer ridiculousness from Heroic.
Yeah, and that could have been such a bad route that sets mousesports off to a losing path. We saw what it did on Overpass versus G2 and Force, right? Nearly cost Force the game. Allowed G2 to get a foot back into the game. Obviously, that could have had massive impact for Heroic and where they would have gone from this point on. The odds from GG.Bet is still favoring mousesports here, 1.36 to the 2.98 of Heroic. I get a feeling that that would have been significantly different if Stavin clutches it out.
Yeah, definitely. I think that might have been the turnaround for this team. Heroic, I think that's another just a sign that they have those individuals that can also just step up and turn the runs. So crazy stuff coming in. And I think mousesports just have to really thank Rops for being able to clutch that, because it was really going downhill pretty quickly.
It was. mousesports, they were looking obviously so polished, so clean getting into the semifinals, but here today, definitely showing signs of vulnerability. Yes, Overpass, not necessarily something we see them play too often, but it's just uncharacteristic mistakes or poor handling of anti-eco rounds and whatnot. Unless they stay in it for the time being. The buy that comes in from Heroic is pretty damn okay. Stavin being the only one who doesn't really have any utility because he bought into that creek in the previous one. Still enough to set up for executes, and they're going to get map control as well around restrooms. Cleared out underpass as well. But there's been a rotation over from the B bomb site to A here from mousesports. Kerrigan, Voxic, and Frozen already hanging out over here. More might follow suit, actually.
Well, 45 seconds yet to find the kill just yet, but Heroic are advancing in towards the A bomb site, so I'm sure we'll see some action in the next few seconds with Frozen up close towards the flower bed with the help of Woxic. Flash to go around the corner. Frozen walks around but doesn't see anybody. This gun is left. Borup, he plays that one well, and Frozen, he's gone.
Oh, what a follow-up onto Voxic as well. That opens up the entirety of the A bomb site. Only Kerrigan left, and he's going to get overwhelmed by S-Tag and Snappy. Robson, Chris, you don't really have too much to do in this scenario. You just got to duck out.
Yeah, they have a lot to do and a whole lot of nothing to do as well.
Yeah.
If they were to attempt this, that would be crazy. Yeah, so definitely have to save. And, well, Heroic go back into the lead, something they've been seeing quite a lot, but never really been able to hold on to.
That's really the key, though. Considering how close that previous round was, coming down to a 1v2 clutch for Robs, means that mousesports don't really have cash. This is going to be a 12th round for Heroic. And ooh, Robs goes down. Borup really feeling it today. And there's not really a whole lot for mousesports to do. Heroic right now primed for 13 rounds, really.
So we've seen what Stown can do on a Krieg.
Now we need to see what, well, we know what Chris J has done with a Krieg in the past.
Exactly. So we have to see if he can do it in this one, because that would be impressive. But the problem is Stown did it on a T round, and obviously it's a little bit easier on the T side, isn't it?
Yeah, you can kind of pick and choose your battles and what angles you want to go into, and you're kind of being dictated and pushed around as a CT more so. Can't necessarily ask them all to come face you 1v1, you know, 1v1 me and Monster.
It's a little bit more by chance when you're on the CT side, whether or not you're going to get that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, he is going to position that towards A long.
And Heroic seems to be going pretty quickly towards B, so...
Yeah, very quickly indeed. It's going to be a very nice execute across the board. Snappy able to take a kill on towards Kerrigan, a second onto Robs, and this is the SMG ability that Snappy does hold. We've seen a lot of highlight clips coming on the back of Mac 10s, MP9s. He loves to wield an SMG, that's for sure. He does pick up a lot of money from it. Woxic and Chris J in a 2v5, almost unwinnable at this point. So Chris J back to saving.
Yeah, back to saving, and Heroic up to 13. Now mousesports are pretty much just given one opportunity to really get back into this. Otherwise, I think we might be looking at Heroic closing out their own map pick. Nice little swap up there to have more Heroic players actually join in on the fun and stab it. Well, fumbles the nade, but that doesn't really matter. He finds both kills.
Picks them up. And we'll be 13-11. 3 away from Heroic taking map number 1 of the series. I do have a feeling, though, if we do see Heroic win this, we might just see ourselves head to that 3rd map.
Yeah.
I think Dust 2 should be a good one for mousesports. We'll see if that is the case, of course, but we still are here on Overpass. It's not done yet. Mousesports have a... I'm going to call it a buy. It is. It's got Mike 7.
They've spent money. They have spent money. They just didn't get that much in return for it. Max 7 on Kerrigan without armor. Having dropped weapons, obviously, over to Voxic, but oof, that's a lot of flashes. It's like they're all Freiburg today.
Well, Rops, he will take Blame F, Voxic, and Kerrigan. Oh my god, that is not what should happen. Follow the script, mousesports. It's boring. It does drop Chris J. He will fall. Frozen able to drop him. And it is 13-12. Mousesports winning off the back of a pretty scrappy buy.
Yeah, a scrappy buy. Just getting the 3 immediately getting the 3 first kills of the round, more or less. Kerrigan actually doing the most out of well, armorless Mag 7.
Exactly.
Glass Cannon Mag 7, not exactly a phrase you hear too often. Gets a kill, Vox with a follow-up, and it's about as good as it could have gone for mousesports. They were looking very, very stressed out with the situation.
He's keeping it, of course, but the problem is here for them. They've got to do it again.
Yeah. I guess this time he does have Kevlar, so...
In theory, it should be easier.
Yeah. Snappy, oh boy. That was not exactly HE grenades. That was more like HE implants. 9 HP. This time Heroic doesn't fancy really what's going on over at the B-bomb site. Slow grab of control over towards restrooms. Still pretty spread though. With the bomb down, well, now Snappy's actually going to rotate over to pick it up. We might get to see an indication as to what Heroic wants to do and where they want to finish up. Posted up Blame F in water for now, all by his lonesome. We do have the utility here to set up for executes. 3 smokes, 2 Molotovs, and 3 flashes. Question is the timing going to favor Frozen? Yes, it very much is. 3 kills, that's fantastic work.
Yeah, that's brilliant from Frozen. 3 kills coming in, Blame F and Snappy. In an almost unwinnable position at this point. Heroic, they might just have to save. And this is, a lot of this has happened where it's been mousesports or taking a couple of kills here, forcing Heroic to save, or the opposite, where Heroic are just taking a few kills and it's enough to scare off mousesports. That's happened pretty much every gun run, it feels, in this matchup so far. And the money's never been well built enough where you see the hunt come in. So we have been very close. It's a tiebreaker pretty much. And while that's such an important round for mousesports to win, Frozen, he did it all.
Away we go. Heroic now a little bit more pressed for cash, a little bit more pressed for time as well. Mousesports have started to mount a bit of a comeback here, and they're looking to steal away what was looking like almost a surefire map pick win. Esatag, he's scoped up. I think he's been hurt as well. Frozen. We're actually going to go past. I think he might know that there's somebody there, but he's more interested actually in what lies behind. Savin dies. Excellent pickup for Frozen, and he's going to just mosey on his way back to where he came from. That's a neat little way to get an opening frag. So, after infiltrating the enemy lines, Heroic need to rework on actually getting map control. They have no idea where Frozen has gone. And he's been smart about it. He's just headed back to the site like nothing ever happened. With that, though, they also do give up map control, and Heroic are not expending any sort of utility to clear things out, and what a shot from S-Attack.
Well, Molotov goes in towards Bank, gets frozen, just sitting in behind the truck, trying to do his best work yet again. He has got the first kill, could get the second as he starts to pre-fire. Unluckily for him, BlameF is able to take him down. And since you're 1v2 here for BlameF, this will be for the quad kill. Smoke goes off to separate the vision of the stairs and the toilets, and he can run off towards long. Rops, he's heard the footsteps, so he knows what he's doing. BlameF might just walk into the waiting arms of Rops. Well played from Rops, and T-Fuse will come in. Easy as you like it from mousesports, 14-13.
That's some good hearing on Rops' on Rops' end.
He's got like sonar bat ears, you know?
Yeah. He's going to pick up the op as well, it looks like. Oh, actually, no. Goes for Krieg instead. No, can't really decide. All right, it will end up with the op. There is a case for picking up the SG over the op, simply because you can't buy it on the CT side. You can always buy an op as long as you have the funds for it, and they definitely do, as it stands right now. But Heroic, now broke, now kind of in a bad spot here. The odds have definitely shifted tides. mousesports pretty heavily favored here at 1.11. Heroic at 5.86. They were looking so good for so long. Now they have to make sure that mousesports doesn't get to map point, but it's going to be easier said than done. They don't really have all that much to work with. We've seen these SG hero rounds work out for the Danish squad already. Stavin was the carrier at that time. This go, it's going to be BlameF. Let's see if there's still any fight left in them. For Heroic, it would be heart crushing to have to go into Dust 2 with a map loss.
It definitely would, and especially being on your map pick where you've looked solid and it's been so close. That's the most heartbreaking part of it.
Yeah. Absolutely true.
It almost feels like Heroic need to win this.
Yeah. In order to have hopes for just a third map. Again, we're never going to say it's impossible to beat mousesports on Dust 2 or anything to that effect. It is Dust 2 after all, but just given what we know and what we've seen, it doesn't seem very likely.
BlameF's charging forward, doesn't want to stop. He'll get stopped though by Carrigan, who puts it into and pros it. Going aggressive, nearly gets the second kill on the spray. Snappy's able to reply though with the P250. Keeps it within touching distance here for Heroic. Even though they stand pretty far back and with a man deficit, gotta feel there's a slight chance with the individuals that are left alive. It's Stavin, of course, with an M4A4 in his hands, and he is inside the middle. Carrigan close by. Is there going to be a gap in the smoke he can look from? Will they check his position? Indeed they will. Borb just pre-fires it and Carrigan caught off by it. Woxic is going to have to do a little bit more here on the bomb site. Nice kill. That's 2 for him. Looking for the third, and there it is. Woxic so quick on the trigger, you just can't deal with it.
Oh, Heroic definitely can't. And now, map point for mousesports here. The buy coming in from Heroic is not going to be the greatest of all time. But at least it could be enough to put up a bit of resistance here. But mousesports with 4 rounds in a row, really, really looking hot to close out Overpass.
Yeah, 2 more for Heroic though. It's possible, and of course that would bring us to overtime. And that's kind of... We're no stranger of overtimes in the Invitational, especially on a map like Overpass.
Absolutely, but Voxic doesn't really seem too interested in letting this go on for very much longer. S-Tag out. And it's kind of an important thing for mousesports as well, because, well, if they were to lose this one, it's only Rops and Voxic that really has that much of a bank built up. Obviously, there's not going to be a whole lot of round loss bonus for a team that's won 4 rounds in a row. So Kerrigan, Frozen, and Chris J actually would have been quite strapped for cash if they were to lose this one. Molotov holds Borb back. Bomb actually rotates over towards the B-bomb side. That's where Snappy's been hanging out for the better part of it. Not really getting too active or looking for too much action, but might be a B split we're in for here by Heroic to see if they can actually grab a round back.
.40 seconds left. Commit coming in towards B. Rop's able to line up 1, but not more than that. So it's still a chance here for Heroic. They stand 1 man down as they come in. It's short from Borup, who pulls it into a 3v3. And it's not over as Heroic move on to the bomb site. Snappy with another kill. Karrigan has to get more than one here. He runs in towards the site, doing damage across 3 players, but he gets 2 kills. It's a 1v1 up against Borup. The bomb is planted, and Karrigan's going to have to defuse. He takes the kill, and Borup falls. It's mousesports with a 16-13 win here on Overpass. The map pick of Heroic.
Yeah, when the captain is called upon, he delivers. Karrigan closes off the game with 21 frags, and that's mousesports winning with, well, 4 players on 20+. Chris J ended the game with 5.
Yeah, Chris J sometimes doesn't have to do a whole lot in the team, right? But in a close game, you kind of expect him to do a little bit more.
Yeah, but it makes it all the more impressive, the fact that mousesports are able to reel that back and do it in such a fashion. Again, on a map that they don't necessarily play a whole lot, and something that Heroic have been pretty adamant about, or pretty okay with playing them in all the bouts that they've had versus Gamer Legion back and forth the last couple of days. It seems to crop up every single game.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously going for it as a pick now, so they're feeling comfortable on it.
Yeah.
Well, they don't get it done on Overpass, sadly, so they're going to have to bring their attentions to Dust too. It's the map pick of mousesports coming up next, and this is a map they might just steal away.